Hi everyone, this is part 3 of precision measurement. In part 3, you will work on adding dimensions to 2 different sketches. The first sketch is shown in the figure in part 3 and it refers to this assembly, and the sketch looks something like this. And the second sketch looks like this. You should already have it in your notebooks, and it refers to this assembly that we worked on in the last activity, technical drawing. So for the first sketch, it tells you to copy it into your notebooks. That gives you the 3 primary views. You can skip the isometric. I've highlighted the outlines of the primary views so you can distinguish them from the other types of lines, okay? So when you're adding dimensions, you need to use extension lines, which extend up or to the side the dimensions to which you're referring. So for example, total width here, this is referring to total width, and these extension lines are referring to the width of 1 cube. Okay, then you will use dimension lines, which have small arrows, and you'll use dimension lines with a dimension, a number in between. So where you see circles, you should actually have dimensions. I left the circles there just to show you a dimension belongs there instead of a circle. Okay? Another thing that's important is the types of dimensions or measurements that we label in each of the views. So for this particular object, you will show 2 depths in the top view. So that's 1 depth, total depth, and the depth of this cutout area here. You'll show 2 widths in the front view and 2 heights in the right side view. Okay? So the depth for this assembly is how far back it goes. So in the top view, that's front view, in the top view, it would be referring to total depth, and then the depth of just that cutout, how far back it goes, okay? But from the top view, it's here. So for the depth here, you would use a ruler. For this sketch, the dimensions are shown in inches. So you'd use the ruler and measure how far back, total depth, and then the depth of just this cutout, okay? So this is the front view, how far back it goes. From the top view, it would be same dimension, but represented slightly more represented differently. The width, from the front view, the width would be total width. So in inches, the total width, and then the width of just that top cube. Okay? Labeled according to how we've labeled them here. It's best to show them above the sketch. And then the height from the right side view would be total height, and then the height of just 1 cube. So total height, and then the height of this 1 cube on the side here. So remember to include extension lines, dimension lines, and label your dimensions in between. Where you see circles, that should be a number. For the second sketch, again, I've used a highlighter just to show you how the sketch is separate from the extension and dimension lines. You should already have this sketch done in your notebooks from when we completed technical drawing, the last activity. So you should be using the assembly to get your measurements, but this time you're using dial calipers. Okay, so this is the front view. The depths that you'd be taking here would be the depth. So this is the top view, front, top, would be the depth of 1 cube. Use the dial calipers to get that measurement. And then the total depth, or the depth of 2 cubes. So if you're right-handed, you might have to flip it over and use your dial calipers to get the total depth. Okay? So again, that's the depth, but we flip it over to get a measurement. Isometric front view, you would have 2 widths in the front view, total width, and then the width of just 1 cube. But we label it above like that, okay? So where you see the circles, you fill in your dimension. Remember to use dimension lines with arrows and extension lines. Okay, and 2 heights. In the right side view, it would be the height of 1 cube. through dial calipers, and then the height of 3 cubes, or total height. Okay?